All right, let's welcome in the pride of Kenora, the first Bassmaster Classic champion ever from Canada, and a friend that's 300 grand richer today, Jeff Gustafson, coming off his big win in Tennessee. Gussie, how the heck are you, man? Congratulations.
Yeah, life's good right now for me. Other than we're driving home, we're just about to go through Chicago, and but yeah, it's been a crazy week. And yeah, the highlight of my fishing career for sure happened on Sunday afternoon, and it was it was just an incredible experience.
We've talked before about the fishing game, the pro series that you've been on, as well as just, some great fishing info for listeners in the past when you've joined us. But I mean, as far as things go, if you can, give our listeners an idea of just how big of an event this is, and how big of a victory this is for you, who's worked so hard to get to the top of your craft.
Yeah, so I fished the Bassmaster Elite Series, and it's kind of like the top level of pro bass fishing. And so we have 9 regular season events through, over the course of the year. We've had 2 already for this season. We got 7 more to go. So we've been to Florida, Georgia. We're going back to South Carolina in a few weeks. And over the course of the year, I think we're fishing in Alabama, Texas, Michigan, New York in August. So kind of go all over the country. And over the course of the 9 events, you get points based on where you finish. And there's about 100 anglers in the field, and the top 40 get to qualify for this Bassmaster Classic. And it's our big championship Super Bowl event. And so I qualified last year, and it was my 4th time fishing the Classic, and my results previously were not that good. I hadn't had a good tournament yet, and we went this year. We went to the tournament was on the Tennessee River in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's always in a different place every year, and I won a Bassmaster tournament 2 years ago at the same venue. So when the schedule was announced last year, it put a little bit of extra pressure on me because I definitely didn't want to miss it. I wanted to be fishing in this, and kind of went into it with a very similar game plan to last time with what worked last time, and it just it worked out. And so the first 2 days, everything went perfect. I actually caught the biggest limit each day and had almost a 6-pound lead going into the final. But the final day, I only caught 2 fish, and I mean, the most stressful, horrible day ever. And then it turned into the greatest day ever. When I got that ride home was just horrible. I thought I blew it, and I really didn't think I had a chance even. And I got in, and I heard that a lot of the other guys kind of struggled too, and that I was going to have a chance. And then it ended up being very close at the end, but I got the right side of that, and we ended up making it. It was crazy.
What fill us in? I mean, so you have that long, nervous drive back in the boat. You pull your fish in. You've got the 2. What happens then? I mean, how are you seeing what other guys are bringing in? Is there a big scoreboard? I mean, what's the process of the white knuckle ride you had to go through until you found out that you actually were the champion? And how long did all that take?
Yeah, so I had a cameraman in the boat with me all day. The top 10 did, and that was they're making the Fox show. So they when you catch a fish, they'll enter an estimate of what the fish weighs, and usually they're going to estimate a little bit lighter than the fish actually are. So when I got in, I was leading based on the estimates, and so I had a chance, but it was stressful. Once I got in, it was still another 2 hours before I actually was able to weigh in and make it official. So, I mean, it was just a long time of anxiety and stress. And I called a few of my buddies. I just needed someone to talk to. My wife and my family and friends, everyone was in the arena and just waiting for the show to kind of go down. And I was kind of by myself in the boat. And I had a few of the other anglers, that I'm buddies with, came and, gave me some hugs and talked to me. And but yeah, it was a crazy, just kind of roller coaster of emotions, and yeah, it was unreal how it all ended up. And then probably the coolest part was like a lot of Canadians came down for the event, like a lot of my friends and some of my family, and like a lot of people that I didn't even know. And in the crowd, I mean, there were Canadian flags everywhere. There was Canadian flags on the bridges taking off in the morning over the river. And yeah, and then Sunday night we had a pretty good party, and a bunch of everyone kind of came out and sort of partook in that, and it was just it was crazy weekend, and just one of the best experiences of my life.
Jeff Gustafson is with us, the 2023 Bassmaster Classic champion, the biggest event in the sport. What were the keys to winning? I mean, like, what makes a successful tourney? And when you look back, what was the difference between you getting one over on the rest of an incredibly loaded field?
Yeah, so I'm fishing against the best bass anglers in the world, like literally the best in the world. And so I've done all right. I hang in there with these guys, but I mean, it's so hard to win any of the tournaments, and especially this one. There's just a lot of outside pressure and just distractions, and but this tournament's a little bit different from the regular season events because there's no points on the line. It's just it's kind of win or I mean, everyone gets paid. There's still some pretty good prize money in the top 10, but like the first place prize and that trophy are the big deal. So I came there, really to focus on fishing for smallmouth bass. There's largemouth and smallmouth bass here, but the smallmouths can average a little bit bigger size. The challenging part, they have a weird regulation at that river that you can only keep smallmouths if they're over 18 inches, and that's a pretty big fish. And so I think that sort of turned a lot of guys off to actually targeting smallmouths, because you would catch quite a few, like 17 and a half. I mean, I caught 5 or 6, like over 17 and 3/4 inches, but not 18, like so close to the line, and I had to throw them back, and like big fish, where the largemouths only had to be 14 inches to keep. So, and that's why I didn't catch my limit. I had 3 or 4 over 17 inches on the last day, but I wasn't able to keep them. But that was the sort of the roulette game I was playing, and this time it worked out, and and then I caught them all with a 4-inch little minnow bait, a Z-Man jerk shad, and I fished it on the Smeltonator jig head that my friend Brian Gustafson makes. He owns Lake of the Woods Sports headquarters, so awesome store in Winnipeg and Kenora, and that's a bait that we use. Like every bass tournament angler in like Manitoba and northwestern Ontario has that bait and jig head in their boat. Probably it's just a well-known, really good fish catcher. Catch a lot of walleyes with it too. But it was a bait that I had a lot of confidence in, and no one else in the field really, had that much experience with using it, I don't think. And so, yeah, it just kind of a lot of things just sort of collided to, be in my favor, and luckily I took advantage of it.
Now, Jeff, we're showing some of the pictures and video of the big trophy presentation and the celebration afterwards, and I was reading they had an all-time record attendance of 163,000 people for this event. I mean, are they all packing into arena to watch this? I mean, how does the how does the spectators work in an event like this?
Yeah, so that arena was absolutely packed on the final day. But they also have like a really big expo, that fishing outdoors expo that goes on during the event too. So like all the boat and motor and fishing tackle manufacturers, like everyone's got a, at this thing. But like there was, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 people at the takeoffs every morning. Like it's so crazy. It's such a spectacle. And, it's just it's the big event that everyone that loves bass fishing. And I mean, in the southern U.S., that's kind of what everybody fishes for. And it's the most popular species. So yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty crazy.
Now, you get that big ass trophy, which you're taking back to north of the border with you right now.
Yeah.
How was the celebration afterwards? You mentioned you got your friends, your family. I saw a picture of you with your buddy Big Buff, who was there as well. I mean, fill us in on what that championship celebration is like after the biggest win of your life.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, like, Bassmaster has a tradition where they have like a champions toast on Sunday night. So got to go to that, and all my friends and family did. And so we were there for a few hours, and then we ended up kind of on the streets of Knoxville, and we were kind of all over the place, really. But yeah, Big Buff showed up. This is how he's such an awesome guy. He was down in Florida with his family on a little vacation. And after Saturday, when I did well, he got his wife to take him to the airport. He flew to Knoxville with sandals, shorts, and a T-shirt. Like, that was it. And maybe a hat. He might have had a hat. And that's what he showed up with. And, like, people were finding him hoodies and, like, but, yeah, so he was there and was part of the party on Sunday night. And, you know, it was, yeah, for everyone in Winnipeg. I mean, he's doing good. He's living life with his kids now and fishing quite a bit, and just, you know, still an awesome same guy that he was when he was playing hockey up there.
Well, I know you guys don't mind putting a line in the water together, and he's a lot of fans still here, and obviously your fan base is growing. Jeff, moving forward, I mean, what does a win like this do for your career? I imagine it will help things like sponsorship and just the notoriety of being the first Canadian champion of this event has to be a huge, huge boost for everything you've got moving forward.
Yeah, no, it is. It's life-changing, and you know, I picked up a lot more following on social media and stuff, so that's been cool. But you know, as far as, like, I have a lot of good sponsors, and it gets more challenging every year to, like, make sure you're doing your job for everybody and keeping everybody happy. So this will buy me a little bit of time on, you know, not having to maybe keep up with all the reports and do the work as much. But yeah, no, it's crazy. It's life changing, and it's going to give me some more opportunity for sure in the foreseeable future.
You know, we're just playing this video of you in the arena, getting the trophy with probably about 250 pounds of ticker tape falling on your head as Enter Sandman plays. What was that moment like, getting that trophy and seeing a packed house all looking at you holding what everyone wanted at the beginning of the weekend?
Dude, I wish I could remember it better. I wish I would have, like, took it in a little better. It happened so fast, and it was so loud in there, and, like, I was just, like, I couldn't believe it. If I'd had a heart rate monitor on there, it would have probably would have broke it. But it was pretty awesome. And, you know, my wife Shelby got to jump out there too. And, you know, she travels with me to most of the tournaments, and, you know, is not in the spotlight as much, but she makes life a lot easier for me on the road, and glad that she's able to kind of come along too. But it was pretty cool.
We're looking at these pictures. It just looked like such an incredible moment for you, your family, and everyone was there. And listen, for your community of Kenora and Lake of the Woods, I will imagine that there might be another part of your celebration when you get back home. Fill us in on what's next for you coming back home, and then when are you back in the boat in the next event?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be home, and I'm supposed to go on a little ice fishing trip this weekend. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that happen still or not. But yeah, we're home for a couple weeks, and then we actually go back to South Carolina here in mid-April, and it'll be just back at it on the Elite Series, and you know, and a new tournament will start, and it'll just be on to the next thing. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy this for the next little while at home for sure, and can't wait to show the trophy to everybody. A lot of friends in Kenora and Winnipeg to share this with, and And I'm sure we're going to have a good party somewhere in Kenora.
No doubt about that. Well, listen, Jeff, and this has been so much fun. We've known you for years. You've always been so gracious with your time to fill us in on what you're doing and tell us about the sport. And this is just phenomenal. We will look forward to talking to you later on this summer, hopefully after another big win. And if you can make it happen, maybe we'll finally take you up and try and see you out at Lake of the Woods. See that trophy in person, maybe jump in the water, learn a few things from the champ.
Yeah, anytime, buddy. I'd love to do that. And, hopefully the Jets going to get it together here or what?
Well, you know what? This was so nice to talk about such a good news story of you winning like this, because I will tell you, there's been a lot of gnashing of teeth, but we'll see what happens tonight against the Sharks, and hopefully we'll have some playoff hockey here in a couple of weeks. And if you are around or make it in for that, we can certainly hook up around that as well. But Jeff, once again, congratulations. People so happy and proud of you and what you've done for this area and the fishing community. And have a safe drive back. Have a great party when you get back to Kenora. And good luck the rest of the way. And we'll catch up later on this year.
Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for having me again. And you guys take care. And go Jets, go.